Flash is a sloth. Flash is a two-toed sloth. Alive in the world today, there are two-toed sloths and three-toed sloths. There are some basic differences between them. They all have three toes on the back feet. Two-toed have two on the front. Three-toed have three on the front. The two-toed sloth has 5 vertebrae in their cervical spine from their skull to their shoulders. The three-toed has 9 vertebrae in their cervical spine. So the three-toed is going to turn his head 270 around like an owl. The two-toed turns his body. The three-toed sloth has 3 vertebrae of a tail. The two-toed has no tail. But the two-toed has the same number of vertebrae end to end. So the extra 4 from the neck and the extra 3 from the tail are between their hips and their shoulders. So the two-toed will turn his whole body like a slinky. Let me show you. So as he, hey Bubba, Flash. Hey Bubba, come here.
How old is he?
He's 6.
Oh, you're just a young. Oh, look at that. How long do they live?
In the wild, about 20. In captivity, about 50.
Oh,
So
wow.
he can turn his whole body around until his hips are basically 180 out from his shoulders. See how far he can turn? So the three-toed is like a slinky. The two-toed is like an owl. Two-toed turns his head like this. Three-toed turns his whole body like that. So, say what?
Can I put it on the back?
Yeah, just like that. The
Wait a minute, girl.
Oh, yeah, with
Oh, I
Gary.
was gonna put that in my mouth. Hold on to it. Hang on.
So the sloths are slow. Sloths are famously slow, but sloths are slow in ways that you don't think about a sloth being slow. So they're slow not only in their movement, they're slow in their digestion, their metabolism, their metabolic processes. They're slow in every way that an animal can be slow. So slow in their digestion. The first studies on how slowly a sloth digests its food, they put some 3-millimeter glass beads into some sloth's food and just waited to see how long it took them to come out the other end.
Oh,
That worked out to be 61 to 64 days.
Oh, my
holy
God.
cow.
So that was the first theory on how slowly a sloth digests its food. No one seriously believes that anymore. It just seems that glass beads don't move through a sloth's digestive tract the way that food does. The next study, they put some durable dyes onto some different food types and just waited to see how long it took the colors to come through. That ranged from 18 to 30 days based primarily on what the sloth was eating. So sloth's primary diet is leaves. Leaves are almost all cellulose. Cellulose is hard to digest, so leaves are going to be more towards the 30 days end of the scale. Fruit would be more towards the 18 days end of the scale. This week, he's going to get some extra fruit. So,
Okay, I guess so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, he'll love it. The sloth digests very slowly, but he eats a tremendous amount of food. So a sloth eats 10% of its body weight every single day. So what he's got there is about half of his breakfast. His breakfast is going to be about 7 ounces of fruit and veggies. Then his free choice throughout the day are his leaves. It'll make out the balance of his 10%. So 10%, that's sort of a ho-hum number until you think of it in human perspectives.
Yeah.
In human perspectives, I weigh 180 pounds. That's me eating 18 16-ounce porterhouse steaks every single day. That's a lot of food.
Yep.
And yet, he goes to the bathroom only 3 or 4 times a month. So he goes 7 to 10 days between trips to the bathroom.
No wonder
So-
you backed up.
Yeah. So if he eats 10% of his body weight every day and doesn't go to the bathroom for 10 days, that means that he has eaten 100% of his body weight since he last went to the bathroom, potentially, not necessarily. When he does digest the food slowly, but he digests it very, very thoroughly. So when he does go to the bathroom, he is going to lose up to 1/3 of his body mass in a single trip to the bathroom.
Wow.
So again, put that to human perspectives. I weigh 180 pounds. Think about that and feel the horror. Yeah.
Yeah, I said if only.
Yeah, solid and liquid at the same time. He doesn't even tinkle between trips to the bathroom. So that's solid and liquid at the same time. So
Okay.
something my size, you're talking about a bag of dog food in a 5-gallon bucket, right? So yeah, imagine that.
Oh, sir, that's nasty.
Yeah, isn't it? And Yeah. So, anywho, the sloth, when he's in the tops of the trees, he's entirely safe from every kind of predator except an eagle. He's safe because he's so light. He only weighs about 15 pounds. He can go much, much further out the branch than a predator large enough to threaten his life can go. So if he goes all the way out to the end of the branch and the predator follows him far enough out that the branch actually breaks and drops to the ground, the sloth will withstand an 80 to 100 foot drop to the rainforest floor. The predator will not. So the sloth will look over and he'll say, "Ah, ah," and back up the tree he will go, and the predator will lay there dead.
Yeah.
Sloths do everything fast. So if you see the smears on the glass, that's when I'm late to come down here. He's got his nose against the glass,
No kidding.
and he's beating the heck out of the door just like this. Just pounding, just pounding. So yeah, so we only do 2 encounters a day with our sloths. That's why they enjoy it and they like it and they look forward to seeing the people. If you look at some other encounters, you'll see that they book those things every 15 minutes for 10 hours a day. That is not the way it is here. And we just don't book more than we book. And, you know, that's just the way it is.
So how did you guys come by the sloths? Or the variety of animals that you have?
A lot of planning, a lot of care, a lot of prayer, a lot of research, knowledge, and setting up a network of people that can give us any knowledge that we lack in. And so, you know, we have our vet that comes out to the farm that takes care of all the animals, but our vet is in close relationship with the University of Tennessee Vet School, and our animals come from licensed breeders that all are experts in their field. And so, you know, we have as much knowledge as you can possibly get. And then construction projects. I mean, it takes a lot to build something that will keep a sloth healthy and happy and alive. Yeah. Well, and people see us online and they think that this is where the sloth lives. No, that is where the sloth lives. He's 2 stories tall in there and goes all the way up, and he has hammocks. He has bunk bed hammocks, and he has trees and branches and everything all over the place in there. And then if it's warm outside, he's got his outside area too. But the sloth has to be kept above 75 degrees all the time, which is why it's hot as all get out in here.
I love it.
Me too.
I'm a
I'm a warm weather kind of guy.
So where would he be from?
Central South America, equatorial rainforests, yeah. Costa Rica, Honduras.
That's what I asked if it's
Such as
Costa
that.
Rica, because I've seen him in Costa Rica,
Yeah.
like in the wild.
Hello?
Don't brag,
Great, stay left where the pond splits the driveway. Turn right on the first gravel drive, and we are running a few minutes behind. We'll meet you at the red barn with the white roof.
Maybe you saw that.
All right.
Is Donna in the cuddle cabin right now with Dash?
I hope so.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Oh, where?
Let me look and see if her car's out here.
Well, how do
Okay.
you been?
Yeah, I think the green beans aren't a favorite.
Yeah.
He didn't
Not
like that
today,
bean?
anyway.
He didn't like that bean? Here, I got a turret and a squash.
Your score.
He definitely like changed his kind of what he likes, because he used to love green beans,
You're pretty.
like until about 3 weeks ago.
He's like a tall one.
Here's some more carrots.
He burned himself out on
And just remember, he can't really see,
Yeah.
so as soon as he gets a hold of that food, you want to let go. Yep. It's not that he wants to eat your fingers, but he just can't
Yeah,
see.
she's in the cabin.
Okay.
I don't know where her car is. I don't see her car out there, but whatever. So, slow in their movement, slow in their digestion, slow in their metabolism. So they metabolize the food very thoroughly, but very slowly.
Hey guys, we're gonna go out and see Dash. Dash is doing an encounter. We're gonna go check that out. You guys still doing? Okay.
Very similar situation. These guys, raised in this environment, they love this. So when I put Dash away, I didn't know this until we got into sloths, but they do make a sound. And that sound is kind of like oof, oof,
Really?
and he will oof.
Is that contentment?
It is pick me up, don't
Oh.
put me away. Yes, pick me back up and don't put me
You're
away.
warm. You're warm.
Yeah. And
You're a warm
so,
body.
and then, or people will say, oh, he's hungry or she's hungry. There's a video that we have posted that has just gotten tons of attention because I had gone away from Zoe for the very first time. And I have a son-in-law who's in the Air Force, and they're stationed in Italy right now. And so I was getting really anxious about it because Zoe and I have a really close bond, and I see Zoe every day. And so I was going to be gone for 2 weeks, and what was that going to look like for Zoe? So coming back, I was like, I wonder, like when you come back home from a vacation,
Yeah.
your dog is all excited to see you,
Exactly.
right? So I'm like, do sloths show excitement? I don't know. You know, like what is her reaction going to be? And so I got back home very late at night. My husband drove down to Atlanta to pick me up. And I said, you know what? I just am nasty. I've been traveling for 36 hours. You feed Zoe. I'm going to take a shower. And then let's see. Like, I cannot wait to see her. And I can't wait to see what her reaction's going to be. So there is a video. And I didn't know how popular it was going to become. You'll see it. I've got a towel on my head because I've just gotten out of the shower. John had fed Zoe, put her back into her basket. This is when she was much younger, and we were keeping her in a sleep enclosure up at the house, which we do the same thing with our human babies. We keep them in cribs at night to keep them safe.
Right.
And so I go over there, and I start calling to Zoe. She comes climbing out of the basket up onto me, and she climbs right up where she always did, but then she started doing something she had never done before, and it was this licking.
Really?
Licking, constantly licking my neck. And so I'm saying to John, oh my goodness, like, are you seeing this? And he said, yeah, she's never done that before. But then you have people that will say, oh, that baby's looking to eat, she's looking to nurse, she's looking, and I'm like, she had just eaten, she's been weaned for months. At this point, Zoe was like 9 months old.
Yeah.
And so it's like she's been weaned for months, she'd just eaten. No, this was actually a sign of affection. We didn't know what it was gonna look like, but we wanted to capture it on video. Yeah. And so they do definitely show emotion. They show attachment. These babies that are born into this kind of environment, like I said, he'll oof, oof.
Oh.
And so just yesterday, I had somebody with me when I had put him away, and she witnessed that.
Yeah.
And of course, what do? Okay. I put my arm back down there. I'm like, come on. She's like, how do you get anything done?
I know.
And so
Some moments you just can't pass up.
yeah.
You can't, because you never know if they're going to happen again.
Now, for wild sloths, going back to that, places like Costa Rica, they have had to outlaw handling sloths because of their wild population.
Okay.
You have sloths in the wild that are like those feral cats I mentioned to you a minute ago. They're not used to human touch, human handling. They have really delicate ecosystems living in their fur.
Yeah.
That you disrupt that when you go and try to handle sloths that are born into an entirely different environment. So for those people that say, oh, that's bad for the sloth or that's dangerous, there is an element of truth in that when you're talking about sloths in the wild.
I
But
get
not
that.
you can see that Dash has nothing growing in his fur.
I could do this all day. I'm sorry.
Do you want me to take a couple pictures or
Please,
videos?
yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
ask you just a couple pictures.
Absolutely.
I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm going to, I could do this all day. Me and Dash, we could hang out.
Did you see that we already opened up Sloth Keeper for a day, so you can spend 3 hours?
Not.
Oh yeah.
I live in Myrtle Beach, but we're all over. Our group is we're all from Tennessee.
Yeah.
We all graduated college. We were in the same sorority, and there
What
was
sorority?
Phi Mu.
Okay.
There was 6 of us. Now there's only 5. We had one girl pass away, so that's why we're here, is to heal.
Oh my goodness.
And this is our heal.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you all live in Myrtle Beach now?
No, one girl lives in Kennesaw,
Okay.
and one girl lives in Johnson City. One girl lives in Knoxville, and I live in Myrtle Beach.
Okay. So you made the longest trip.
I just flew to Atlanta.
Okay.
It's
yeah.
it's a 30-minute flight,
Uh-huh.
and the girl in Kennesaw picked me up.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Dash is pretty laid back. Thank you
He's
so
very
much.
laid back. So interestingly enough, I was talking to you a minute ago about their size. They're not significantly smaller than this at birth. And I remember I told you, they grow really, really slow. But like human babies, they also seem to hit these growth spurts. And I noticed that Zoe hit her growth spurt at about 9 months old.
Oh.
So she's 13 months old now. Dash here is, you can only weigh them after they use the bathroom, which
Right.
they're only doing about 3 times a month.
I understand that.
Yes. And so at his last weight, he was 1.9 pounds. At Zoe's last weight, she was 12 pounds.
Wow, she's so
So
good.
but she stayed, she was still hanging out somewhere around, I mean, at 9 months old, she was about 7 or 8 pounds.
What do
So-
they eat? Just leaves?
So in the wild, they eat leaves. They have their choice of about 12 different varieties of leaves.
Yeah.
Usually, like people, they will choose their favorites. They'll all have different opinions, and they'll usually eat somewhere between 3 to 6 different varieties of leaves. For these babies, we start them out on more fiber. So we're actually cooking for baby Dash right now. We do still some for Zoe as well. So he has a diet of organic brown rice. And then we take Purina Pro Plan, a special diet of that mashed in there.
Yeah.
We put some sweet potatoes in there.
Nice.
Our older sloths also get spinach, squash, zucchini.
That's good.
They'll get an occasional hard-boiled egg. They do
Uh-huh.
need to get some occasional protein
Right.
thrown in there. By far, their core diet is vegetation.
Yeah.
But even in the wild, they've been known to eat like small birds' eggs.
Mhm.
They would if they came upon a nest of baby birds, they would eat a baby
Yeah.
bird. So small amounts of protein. They could eat small rodents, but it's a little harder to catch.
Well, they're so slow.
Like I said, they're not, speed is not their
No.
strong suit.
Dash
Except
is
when it
pretty
comes to swimming, so they can actually swim faster than they can do
I
anything
didn't know
else.
that.
Um,
Are their feet like webbed? Or?
They're not, and again, now some of the things I'm telling you are things that I know is fact, and then I
Yeah.
have my own ideas.
Right.
But my idea, they're not swimming just because they decided to take a cool dip in the pool. They're swimming for their lives.
Yeah, get away.
Because they have probably fallen out of a tree
Gotcha.
into some small body of water or river or something like that in the rainforest. And so the safest place for these guys is up in the canopy.
Mhm.
So they're only going to make that treacherous trip down to use the bathroom. And it is pretty dangerous. A lot of sloths will lose their lives
Yeah.
just because they were trying to go to the
And they
bathroom.
can't get out of the way.
Right, exactly. So they don't, of course, on the ground.
Hey.
So your car, how'd you get here?
The keys were not in my car, so Vlad brought me.
Oh.
And so on the ground, they're just doing like the army crawl, on their
Yeah.
belly. And you will see, you've probably seen some videos of places where sloths are wild, and you'll see a sloth trying to cross the road.
Yeah.
They've gotten down and they're trying to cross the road, and you'll get a nice bystander that will come and
Move
put
on.
that sloth up onto a tree. But
We
yes.
have at our aquarium in Myrtle Beach. They have a sloth exhibit. I think there's 3 or 4 adults
Uh-huh.
sloths, but they have a tree, a fake tree, but
Mhm.
it's got a hole in it, and they're always in the
In the
hole.
hole.
And they're
Okay, yeah.
always like, yeah, no.
These guys, we have hammocks for these guys. They love their hammocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will. So they'll hold on, like if they have to.
Yeah.
But they're also pros at relaxation.
Yeah.
So they'll find like a crook, in the trees where it comes together, kind of like a V or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they'll lay in there, or with the hammocks, they'll lay in what else are you guys doing on your girls' event?
We have not done anything, we're not doing anything but drinking, eating, and laughing.
Oh,
And
good for you
we have
guys.
a house about 2 miles from here on the river
Uh-huh.
that we did VRBO, and we're just gonna hang out. Like I said, we lost one of our friends
Yeah.
in November. So this was we need to do this because we used to go every year, the 6 of us.
Okay.
And now it's just the 5 of us. So we're like, we need something really healing, for this
Yeah.
first time without Tina.
Yeah.
So this was we said, well, what about holding sloths? I mean, that's gonna be a healing experience.
Yeah.
And so we're all animal lovers, and we're like, yeah, we got to do
Well,
this.
you didn't even tell me that. So
I didn't.
I'm so glad that we worked it out for you.
I didn't.
There's-
Thank you so much for changing the time.
Yeah. So Kevin, there were 4 of them, and 4 was the max,
Right.
this morning with Flash, and you were just gonna
I was
be
just gonna-
generous to her friends and let them have a
Right.
sloth encounter without her. And I was like, oh no, we've got to do
Thank you for
something.
doing that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like, well, I guess I just waited too late, dragged my feet to book, and I didn't realize how.
But it wouldn't have been, because you exceeded that limit anyway. So don't
Exactly.
beat yourself up.
Exactly right. Yeah,
Um,
somebody'd already booked, but
Yeah.
this was we're still trying to come to terms with her death, and this is part of the healing process.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna go over there with Zoe.
Okay.
Have a wonderful time. So glad that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, we're live here at Ocoee Riverside Farm, and we're gonna go in here and check on Zoe. So we're doing a couple sloth encounters. You guys having fun? Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, did you ask Don to hang out for the group photo at the end?
No.
All right, we'll just do the 2 sloths for the group photo with all the 5 friends.
One of my friends came to see the sloth, and he'll have to hang in that special, very cool way where he lets his arms go.
Yeah.
I got a really good photo.
Oh, he will. He always does that.
I was like, you can help me right at home.
I'll come back.
Hey, baby.
Hi.
All right, guys. So today you're going to be giving Flash his breakfast. This is what's important. He can't see the difference between this and this. His vision is horrible. So this is food. You put it in his mouth. This is not food. You don't put it in his mouth. Don't put it in his mouth. Don't put it in my mouth. Either one of us might bite you if you stick your finger in our mouth. So when you give him his food, you just give it to him. He's going to come on down. He was wondering if he was out of guess this morning because we took a little bit of a longer pause than we usually do. Hey, Bubba. And he just eats his food. And he is going to hang down here in a minute. He'll hang right down where you get your good pictures. And we might have to get the young lady a chair to stand on so she can feed him. And but this is Flash's breakfast. Everybody can just grab pieces of his breakfast to give it to him. And I'm going to tell you some things about sloths that you may not know. So this is Flash. Flash is a 2-toed sloth alive in the world today. There are 2-toed sloths and 3-toed sloths. He'll hang down in a minute, just all the way down. So alive in the world today, there are 2-toed sloths and 3-toed sloths. Differences between them. A 2-toed sloth has 5 vertebrae in their cervical spine between their skull and their shoulders. A 3-toed sloth has more vertebrae in their cervical spine. So a 3-toed sloth turns its head 270 around like an owl. A 3-toed sloth has 3 vertebrae of a tail. A 2-toed sloth has no tail. So the extra vertebrae from the 3-toed, from the neck and the tail, are between the hips and the shoulders of the 2-toed sloth. And I'm going to show you the way that he will rotate around like a slinky. Hey, Bubba, come here. Come here, Bubba. Wakey, wakey.
Likes the smell of.
He loves bananas. Wakey, wakey. Come here.
It's a trick, I know.
No, he's gonna get it. So you will see that he can turn his whole body around until his hips are basically 180 degrees out from his shoulders. So he is more like a slinky, and a three-toed sloth is more like an owl in the way that their body moves. So Flash is the other difference is that all sloths have 3 toes on the back feet. Two-toed sloth obviously has 2 on the front. Three-toed sloth has 3 on the front. The sloths are slow. Sloths are famously slow, but sloths are slow in ways that you may not realize that a sloth is slow. So sloths are slow not only in their movement, they're slow also in their digestion, their metabolism, their metabolic processes. They're slow in every way that a sloth can be slow. So slow in their digestion. Just let it be. We don't feed them off the ground. Kick ball change. You just throw it.
On the ground.
Yep. We'll clean the floor later. Yeah,
You
the
like
tortoise
food?
actually might eat it. Hey, Bubba. Tortoises do eat off the ground. Sloths don't. Franklin, you hungry, Bubba? Hey. There you go.
Nope. Evie.
Well, maybe when he comes back around. He didn't want my zucchini either, so I'm feeling bad about it.
Sometimes he really like stretches and he kind of like hangs his back down and it looks like he's doing yoga. It's hilarious.
You want to do. Do not very much.
Yellow squash. So this, and they're all well, some garlic.
Can we pet him?
Yeah, you can run your hands along his back. You just don't want to touch his face, his belly. Yeah. But he likes to have long, slow pets. And you just want to keep your hands on the back.
Yeah. Evie.
There you go, young lady.
Ready to eat your food. He's excited.
There you go.
Oh, soft. Softer than what I thought.
It looks very coarse.
Yeah, it does. But
It doesn't look like it would be soft.
No, not at all.
So slow in their digestion. A sloth, the first studies on how slowly a sloth digests its food, he'll turn around in a minute, sweetheart. The first studies on how slowly a sloth digests its food, they put some 3mm glass beads into some sloth's food and just waited to see how long it took them to come out. That worked out to be between 61 and 64 days.
Oh, wow.
So no one seriously believes that's how long it takes a sloth to digest their food anymore. It just seems that food doesn't move through, food moves through more quickly than glass.
Yeah.
So the next study, they put some durable dyes onto some various food types and gave them to a sloth. And they waited to see how long it took the colors to come through. And that was between 18 and 30 days. So that's what people would tell you it takes a sloth to digest these days. So, hey Flash, come here baby. So the range there is based primarily on what the sloth ate. So leaves are mainly cellulose. Cellulose is hard to digest. So leaves would be more towards the 30 days end of that scale. And fruit would be more towards the 18 days end of that scale. But any way you slice it, it's a long time. So here, let's give him a banana, sweetheart. There you go. Hey Flash, come here, Bob. So, although they digest very slowly, they eat tremendously much of it. Hey, darling, come on in.
Is her group still here?
Yeah, I was saying we were going to try to get a picture with all 5 of them, maybe with all 3 sloths when we're done.
Okay.
So that's going to be at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Hey, Sherry, I'm gonna pass that off to you.
So I forgot what I was saying.
Digestion.
Yeah.
Fruit goes through quicker.
Faster, yeah. So although they digest very slowly, they eat tremendously much food. They eat 10% of their body weight every single day. So that's sort of a ho-hum number till you put it to human perspective. If they eat 10% of their body weight every single day, I weigh 180. That would be me eating 18 16-ounce porterhouse steaks every single day. That's a lot of food. And yet they go to the bathroom only once in 7 to 10 days. 3 or 4 times a month is all they do. And so if they are eating 10% of their body weight every single day, and they potentially go 10 days between trips to the bathroom, that would mean that they have eaten 100% of their body weight since they last went to the bathroom. So when they do go to the bathroom, they're not going to lose 100% of their body weight because they do metabolize the food very thoroughly, just very slowly. When they go to the bathroom, they are going to lose about 1/3 of their body weight. And so again, putting that to human perspectives, I weigh 180 pounds. Divide that by 3 and feel the shudder, right? So that's a lot. You're okay. He's not going to hurt you, sweetheart. Stand right up there. You'll get a good picture. Yeah, there's your lifetime picture shot, right? This will be in scrapbooks forever. It's okay. He just wants to sniff you.
Look at him. There we
Say, hey, Flash.
That's sweet.
Look here how Flash has ears. You know that a sloth has ears? It's underneath his fur, right there. See that? His ears are proportional to his head. His ears are as big as ours. His vision is horrible, so he's working primarily off his sense of smell and hearing. So you see when she was holding the banana and he's facing the other way, he's like, banana. Yeah, so his sense of vision, if you look at his eyeballs, you know, he's got just pinpricks where his pupils are. So if you put your hands like this and you look around like that, that's about the way that the sloth is looking at you right now. So he has a structure of his eyes called rod monochromacy, meaning he has all rod cells, no cone cells. So he sees only in grayscale all of the time, and you gotta swing over and get that picture, Kevin.
Make that face again. That was hilarious.
Hey, Bubba, what you doing?
Yeah, you don't want to see that in, though.
John,
Yeah, you don't want to see that in.
That was the end.
John, can you hand me that other tripod right there behind you? The
Yes.
small one? Yep, thanks. Let's see if I can.
Hey, Bubba. So,
This is where the party's at.
Yeah, it is. And we got kangaroos and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I took a shower last week, so
Do you have poop on your butt?
I don't. I have Charmin.
Do you not like to be touched? Do you not like to be held?
Oh,
so he,
because pretty much I would do anything for you. Do you need a car?
Oh,
he only does
Are you
2
looking
pounds a
out?
day, 10 and 10
you think you won't get
day.
down? But I don't think so.
Oh, looking
I
around.
don't think so.
That face. That is too
Oh,
dumb.
oh, you're skittish. You're skittish. Yes, you are.
I'm not from here.
Yes,
Yeah. That is like a perfectly little.
Mm-hmm.
Little ball.
So with armadillos, this is their actual skin. It's not a shell like a tortoise. And then they're the only armadillo species that completely kind of encapsulate like that. Other armadillos will ball up, of course, but like their tail will still be sticking out or have some part of them that's not perfectly fit like a little puzzle like that.
Gosh, it is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You're so
He knows.